When you yield to God, God will begin to amplify his preferences and the dynamics of his nature. And then you will find yourself behaving more and more like God. And if you decide to behave like the devil, God inside of you will begin to quarrel. So that thing that you did is not captured within my nature. He will expose sin within you so that you can deal with it, because you have violated your separation. You get that? So what happened in the book of Genesis chapter 6 is a violation of separation. When that violation of separation took place, the result became a mixture. And when the mixture found expression, this is what God said in verse 3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man, for that he is flesh. See, this fall that began in Genesis chapter 3 had come to the final state of the fall. He fell and now he is flesh. That's the last point. And the God of heaven declared that man had become flesh the moment man violated the principle of separation. Now let me show you some consequences of he has become flesh. Go to verse 5. Consequences. Quickly, 5. And the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination, can you say imagination again? Of the thoughts, can you say thoughts again? Of his what? Heart was evil continually. It means that the result of the fall was that another influence had taken over the heart of man. And it is that influence that man is going to reflect. Because I told you that man is a vessel that will reflect any influence that masters his heart. So at this point now, the influence that mastered the heart of man is the influence of darkness. So his thoughts and his heart was filled with evil continually. So at this point, there is no form of rehabilitation that can help this entity. This entity will need someone that can give him a different heart. So can you see the state of an unbeliever? So now, you that you are a believer, the light of the gospel of God has shined on your heart. You have accepted Christ Jesus, and Christ happens to be the image of God. It means that there has been a restoration of God's image in you. You are not following me. The unbeliever, and what the devil is desperately trying to achieve with the unbeliever, is to change his image so that he no longer operates like God, but he operates like something else. He reflects something else. So he carries the image of another thing, carries the image of darkness, carries the image of dimensions that are secured in hell. Two little kids, they were 13 years old, and they went to visit a certain sorcerer. And the sorcerer told them, why do you go to school? They were going to school to get educated so that when we graduate from school, we can have jobs and we'll be financially independent. So the sorcerer told them, who told you you need school to have money? Say, wow, we've not heard of that. You don't need school. Go and give, two of you, go bring the head of your mother to me. And the moment you bring that head, I will do something, and what you are going to school to get, you will get it now. So these two guys, 13 years old, they were discussing and coming up with strategies on how to deliver their mother's head. 13 years old. One succeeded. Yes. Because he is carrying a different image. He looks like a different realm in the spirit. He will illustrate and advertise the values, the dynamics of that realm. Are you there? One succeeded. What the mother said, it's just that the police now apprehended. That was how the story came out. But he was able to strategize sufficiently and took the mother out. And if not that the police caught him with the head in a sack, even his father would not have known that he was the one that took his mother out. Can you imagine the kind of intelligence that a 13-year-old boy now has, that he could take out an experienced woman? It was not the boy. It was the influence that was attached to his heart. That influence was responsible for his thoughts, was responsible for his imaginations. He saw visions on how he had intellectual visitations on how to take out his mother, and he fulfilled it. Are you following me? That's what happens when your heart comes into the domain of another influence. You begin to reflect that influence. You begin to reflect that realm. You begin to reflect the ideals of that civilization. So the reason for the gospel is that it's the only avenue through which Christ, that happens to be the image of God, can be restored to man.